What makes a life worth living? It all depends on the measuring tape that we use to measure life. There are different types of measuring tapes out there. Some made in China, some German, some Latin American, some that are soft, and some that are sturdy, as those of a metallic nature. Pure randomness could be the reason why we use specific measuring tapes to measure life. But I reckon that additionally, and beyond randomness, we as human beings, and at different points of our earthly existence, get handed out measuring tapes of a certain type. Sometimes we hold on to these measuring tapes out of pure love. Sometimes we do it because it relates to our essence, to us, to our inner core. And sometimes we do it for pure validation. In my case, I use my father's measuring tape of somewhat of a strict, unbendable nature. You see, he is an engineer and likes to measure life through numbers and degrees. With each year being an intersection of lines and achievements. So whatever is not quantifiable or written in large and respectable successes does not count. There ain't anything that is tied to hedonistic or spiritual concerns, which are not vociferously reported, will be muted and unmeasurable by his measuring tape, by the engineer's measuring tape. This could be anything from a small painting that one makes for the house, or years of inner work. Because for this measuring tape, you see, that which does not have a direct output, it's sidelined and stamped into what the measuring tape sees and perceives and calls as being lost, or measures it as a life not worth living. A life to be anxious about, and not a life to be celebrated. I will not go too much into detail, but I do want to share that every night when the sun comes down, and every morning when I wake up with the Father Son, 'Son, I'm carrying and extending and valuing myself through this measuring tape, which whirls and spirals and waits. It's heavy and burdensome family honor within me. Now, one could easily ask me, if you are so conscious that this measuring tape is not yours, if you know so well that this is not how you see life, and on top of everything, if this measuring tape, it's so detrimental, punitive, destructive to yourself, then why do you continue to use this engineer's measuring tape to measure your life's worth? Well, the truth of the matter is that it relates to both loyalty and fear. That it relates to both lovelessness and seeking love. The truth is that carrying somebody's measuring tape is like carrying the teaching of conditional love. Not unconditional, but conditional love that comes from excelling in the numbers of the measuring tape, based on the lines and numbers written through the old ways, written through patriarchy and capitalism that sidelines, omits, and steps on anything that does not concur with the numbers, with the images, with the lines of this measuring tape. So to not use this measuring tape is actually equivalent to not being loved. It's equivalent to not belonging. It's equivalent to be left out in the prairie, in the savannah, alone by your tribe. And yet using it causes so much lovelessness to oneself, to one's soul, to one's heart. So you can imagine that when I get trapped, when we get trapped, when one gets trapped in the existentialism that exists from a structureless life that is not lived within the confines of this basis of life's worth, I and one with the utmost wonder, with the utmost strength, attend to look for another one. So sometimes I get my American measuring tape out. It's fun and full of bright red and blue colors with some pretty yellow stars that adorn each number. And the typography, the font, the lettering in the tape is big and bold, just like the high school posters we used to have in our windowless, air-conditioned classrooms. And the messages of these posters accompany the tape with words and images and inspirational historical and pop figures that speak of courage, determination, and my favorite of them all, individual responsibility. Part of me really likes this measuring tape. Believe it or not. It gives me energy. It brings my fire up. It stirs the warrior within me. But within that fire, the mental houses burn. The fire takes over the more organic and soft feminine forms and creates a warrior out of nowhere. That within a war cannot sleep, cannot see beyond days or even hours, cannot connect, cannot feel, cannot be present. It can only be at war, strategizing and moving ahead, burning the land with the fire. So then I burn out, and the measuring tape also does, leaving me to look for another one. And there it is, my sister's measuring tape. It's pretty and pink and has a children's birthday party theme with different Disney princesses speckled upon it. There's also school and lots of shiny cars. And the duty and validation of my father's measuring tape. It looks good from the outside, but it's definitely not mine. Actually, many of those around me carry this measuring tape. And I wonder, why can't I just take it, embrace it, or even force feed myself with it? But I don't carry appetite for more measuring tapes. I am full of them. So I think I will find something else, something beyond, something in where I and my life are worthwhile, where my soul's existence in this world is worthwhile. I don't know what that is. And I don't know if that will also require another measuring tape. Maybe a more kinder one than the ones that I have been carrying. Maybe one that is aligned with who I am. Whatever that may be. So I simply don't know, because all I know is that I want to start to love myself. Beyond these measuring tapes. Beyond anything else. The Measuring Tape by Karenina.